Hey guys, this is Joe Hook, the Director of Performance here at Tier 2 LLC. This is Ian, this is our lead defense instructor. Ian's a former Marine. I also have some experience working with some tactical guys in the past. So what we've done is integrated our defense and performance services here at Tier 2 so we could kind of get things through with no lost in translation kind of language so that people can truly understand what are good positions and how to more efficiently go through a tactical environment. So today we're going to talk about shooting platform and stance. Ian's going to take this over right here and talk to us about our stance here at Tier 2.
So when we're talking about getting into a better, more optimal stance for all you shooters out there, especially when you're going to be in a close quarters engagement scenario, we want to talk about getting into an athletic position, right? So we're getting a good bend in the knees, right? We're creating torque so that we can create positive tension in our glutes. This allows us to move, whether it be laterally or linearly. So we can go forward, backwards, side to side. Creates a little bit more advantage for us as far as, well, if we need to move from a piece of cover to another piece of cover. You know, we can accelerate properly and do so quickly, right? So when we're getting out into our stance, we're talking about having this good platform with your feet shoulder width apart. We're talking about this deep isosceles stance. So there's a lot of debate about whether a Weaver stance or an isosceles stance is better. We would encourage everybody to get into a deeper isosceles stance. Reason being is you're in a more athletic position right here, because you can move forward, you can move side to side, and you can move back, but you're maintaining the same amount of pressure on the weapon, right? So you don't have anything to worry about as far as your platform goes. And your movement will always be controlled because you're creating positive tension in your glutes. So we're going to turn it back over to Joe now. We're going to talk about the biomechanical principles that go along with this positioning.
So what we're talking about here is creating some tension. If you think of your body kind of like a bunch of big rubber bands, so right here, I'm loading into all these rubber bands. This looks an awful lot like if we had an athlete come out here to get to an athletic base. That's what we're ultimately saying, right? From this position now, I can move wherever I need to because I'm loaded into my hips, right? I have a good, we said a torsion force, right, which is stabilizing these big structures. You know, from shoulder to hip right here, I have to create a lot of stabilization, not only for, you know, a recoil force or getting out, but also I have to control some of these physiological responses. So if I'm able to stay integrated here in a good position without losing myself to extension, right, or flexion right here, what I'm able to do is not only create a more solid base to shoot, but I'm also able to control and down-regulate from an excessive physiological response because I can breathe, right? I've created a good platform for my diaphragm to create pressure around my L spine, and also, right, for myself to have proper breathing mechanics. So we talk about all the time here, controlling movement with breathing, right? And what Ian would say, right, if we went to the lane, was as I press out, I'm going to breathe. Not only is that allowing me to kind of relax and get to a better mindset to shoot and make a decision, hey, should I shoot? But also, this is putting me into a better position. Because I'm engaging my core, I've created pressure around this L spine, and now I've also doubled up and got tension back in my hips where I can move. So this is what we're kind of looking at, and this is why we kind of teach this modified isosceles, a deeper isosceles. Now, like, that's completely optimal. Chances are you're going to be shooting out of something that's much less than optimal. And like we talk about this all the time. Sure, like, this is very optimistic more than it is optimal, you know, but from this position, this is kind of the base where I can get into kind of some sort of lateral squat, press out, and get around the corner, but still maintain a more positive position to be able to move out of it.
So using this as your base, rather than up here for a modified Weaver stance, right? This gives you better surface area with the ground, your center of mass is increased, you're able to engage targets in multiple directions, left or right, and you're able to achieve optimal archetypal movement patterns. And when I say that, it sounds really complex, but really all I'm saying is you're able to get into a good lateral squat to shoot around cover, right? To engage. So anytime you're going to be moving from cover to cover or moving around it, we're going to be talking about getting these optimal engagement positions. So this deep isosceles position that we're getting at, with my knees bent, straight lines from my head all the way down to my rear, straight lines from my knees all the way up to my hip. That's what we're talking about. So it's optimal positioning, and we're covering the optimal amount of space with our platform. You got anything else today?
It's pretty good. So when you guys are thinking about kind of what to shoot out of and everything, just understand, you know, like the shooting platform here is just kind of like a shoulder position. The rest of the stuff can move, We just want to make it move in a good way, because if I'm into my knee and really inefficient here, I have nothing, no sort of basis to take any kind of recoil load and continue to shoot in a straight line, but also, right, I have no sort of platform to get out and go, so you're going to see a lot of false steps. Ironically, this reminds you of a linebacker or someone who's in pursuit who can't make a good cut, right? And that's what we're ultimately saying is our tactical athlete program is going to make you an athlete globally, which will inherently have a better effect on you in your respective field. So, Ian Pollock, Joe Hope, come check us out at Tier 2. Thanks for watching and have a good one.